Friends, welcome back to my channel once again. So today we will be discussing the CBSE Board Grade 10, the chapter Statistics. In the previous three videos, I explained about the statistics and what is the mean, how to find the mean. There are three methods I explained, that is direct mean method, assumed mean method, and finally the step deviation method. So now today this will be the part 4 video. In this video, we are going to solve about the mode. We will take a look about how to solve mode, okay, and also we will do some problems on finding the mode value. So let's take a look what is mode first. So the formula of mode is L plus F1 minus F0 by 2F1 minus F0 minus F2 into H. So I will come each with the example, like then only you will be able to understand what is F0 and F1 and F2 and also the L. H you already know, that is the class width, and for finding the mode the classes must be continuous. So if it is a discontinuous class, then first we need to convert it to a continuous class, then we need to find the value of the mode. So let's take the example. So this is the formula I already explained. So now here we need to know the term. So what is L over here? So L is the lower limit of the modal class. So I will explain what is modal class with the example, don't worry. And F1 is the maximum frequency, that will also be taken care whenever we see a particular example. F0 is the frequency of the class preceding the modal class, and F2 is the frequency of class succeeding the modal class, and H is the width of the class. So once we start with the example, then it will be easier for you to understand each and every term over here. So the class having a maximum frequency is a modal class. Okay. So now coming to the point, like what is modal class which has the maximum frequency, that will be termed as a modal class. So now let's take a example. The following data gives the information on the observed lifetimes in hours of 225 electrical components. So the lifetime is given in hours and the frequency is also given. Now determine the modal lifetimes of the components. So here we need to find the mode value of it. So let's first check whether the class is continuous or not. So finding mode, classes must be continuous, right? So in this case, class interval is given and frequency is given. So just copy the class, since already it is continuous, like 0 to 20, then 20 to 40. So that means it is continuous. Then 40 to 60, then 60 to 80. So this is a continuous class. Now just copy the frequency. Now we have to find the class width. So class width, you already learned that is found by subtracting two consecutive lower limits or two consecutive upper limits. Okay. So let's take the lower limits and subtract it. So 20 minus 0 is 20 over here. So that is the class width. Now we need to find the maximum frequency to find the modal class over here. So which one is the maximum frequency? If you take a look, that 61 is maximum over here. So we will choose this 60 to 80, that's class interval, as the modal class. So we already learned that modal class is the class interval which is having the maximum frequency. So in this case, the modal class will be 60 to 80. So the corresponding class 60 to 80 is the modal class, that we already find out. Now frequency of the modal class is 61 here. So that is considered to be the F1. So F1 is the maximum frequency. So here 61 is the F1. Now F0 will be the frequency of the class preceding the modal class. Means we have to means whatever is the maximum frequency, just before that frequency will be considered as the F0, and F2 will be just the succeeding one, like F1, after that F2. So F0, F1, F2. So F1 is the maximum frequency over here. Okay. Now we got F0, F1 and F2 and also the modal class. Now we need to know the L over here. Okay. So L is the lower limit of the modal class, that already in the previous one we explained that L is the lower limit of the modal class. So modal class is 60 to 80. The lower limit over here is 60. So H is, we find out that is H is equal to 20 over here. And F1 also we know, F0 is also know, and F2 we also know. So now put all these values in the formula of the mode, that is equal to L plus F1 minus F0 by 2 F1 minus F0 minus F2 into H. Okay, now let's put all the values over here. So 60 plus 61 minus 52 by 2 into 61 minus 52 into, minus 38 into 20. So now let's calculate this. So 9 by 122 minus 90 into 20. So 60 plus, so 9 into 20 is 180 by 32. So which is coming around 5.625. So 60 plus 5.625 is 65.625. So that is the mode value. So the answer will be, the modal lifeline is 65.625. So that should be in hours, because modal lifelines is given in hours. So 65.625 hours. Now let's take a look at the next problem. The given distribution shows the number of runs scored by some top batsmen of the world in one-day international cricket matches. So run scored is given and number of batsmen is also given. So that is the class interval, and corresponding frequency is given. Find the mode of the data. So let's here also check that for finding mode, classes must be continuous. So let us check whether the class is continuous or not. Yes. If you check that 3000 to 4000, then we have 4000 to 5000. So that means it is continuous. Then 5000 to 6000, that is also continuous. Then we have 6000. So means whatever is ending with the upper limit, that will be the lower limit for the next class interval. Then we can say that is a continuous class. So we can see that whatever is ending with the class, that is the starting with the next class. So that's why it is a continuous class. Okay. So now let's fill the class interval and also the frequency. Now let's find the class width. So class width, we know that is found by subtracting two consecutive lower limits or two consecutive upper limits. Okay. So let's find that. Now here we need to find the maximum frequency. So if you take a look, the maximum frequency is 18. So that will be the class interval, will be the corresponding row which is having the maximum frequency. So here the modal class will be 4000 to 5000 is the modal class. So now the maximum frequency, we know that will be chosen as F1 and the preceding one will be chosen as F0 and the succeeding one modal class frequency will be chosen as the F2. Okay. So now L is the lower limit of the modal class, that is 4000 over here. H is the class width. F1, F0 and F2 you all got already. So just write down the values over here. Then the mode will be L plus F1 minus F0 by 2 F1 minus F0 minus F2 into H. Now put all these values over here. Now calculate everything. Okay, now 4000 plus 14,000 by 23. So if you do a calculation over here, so you will get 14,000 divided by 23 is approximately coming as 608.7. So for 4000 plus 608.7 will become 4608.7. So that is the mode value over here. So here mode will be in terms of runs because runs code is given. So that will be the mode over here. Okay, now let's take the look at the next problem. A student noted the number of cars passing through a spot on a road for 100 periods each of 3 minutes and summarized it in the table given below. Find the mode of the data. So the student has recorded this data, and if we take a group distribution, this is the number of cars and the frequency is given. So now we need to find the mode of it. So for finding the mode, classes must be continuous. So that is the main criteria. Okay. So let's first check whether the class interval is continuous or not. Okay. So now draw the table, class and frequency. So class will be the number of cars, that will be the class interval over here. So here if you take a look 0 to 10, then we have 10 to 20. So that means it is a continuous because 10 is continuing in the next class. Then we have 20 to 30, that is also continuous. 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70 and 70 to 80. So all the classes are continuous class over here. So now let's copy the frequency. Now we need to calculate the class width, that is found by subtracting two subsequent lower limits or two subsequent um, upper limits. Okay. So now that will be 10 minus 0 is 10 over here. So now here we need to check what is the maximum frequency, because that is going to be the F1 as well as the modal class. So here we can see that 20 is the maximum. So that will be treated as the F1 and the corresponding modal class will be 40 to 50. Now F0 will be the preceding modal class frequency, that is 12, and F2 will be the succeeding modal class frequency, that is 11. Now put all these values. Achha, one more thing over here, we need to calculate the we need to find the value of L, that is the lower limit of modal class, that will be equal to, modal class here is 40 to 50, so L will be equal to 40. So now put all the values and then we can easily find the mode. Now the mode formula is L plus F1 minus F0 by 2F1 minus F0 minus F2 into H. Now put everything in this value, in this formula. Finding mode is very easy. There is nothing much to do. Only you need to memorize the formula over here. So finally we got the mode as 40 plus 80 by 17, which is the approximate value is coming 4.7. So that is 44.7. So the final mode will be 44.7 cards. Okay. Now let's take a look at the next problem. The following table shows the ages of the patients admitted in a hospital during a year. So the age in years is given, that is the class interval, and number of patients, that will be the frequency. Find the mode and the mean of the given date above. So in this case, we need to find the mode as well as the mean. So for finding mode, we know that classes must be continuous. So if you take a look over here, that class are all continuous over here. So because 4 to 15, 15 to 25, then 25 to 35. So all classes are continuous. The number of patient Fi will be the frequency. First we need to find the class width. So class width H is fine. We can easily find the value of class width by subtracting the two consecutive lower limit or two consecutive upper limits. So let's subtract the lower limits. So 15 minus 5, that is equal to 10 over here. Now we need to find the maximum frequency. So in this case, the maximum frequency is 23. So the modal class will be the corresponding one. So that is 35 to 45. Now let's find the F1, F0 and F2. F1 will be the maximum frequency and F0 will be the frequency of the class preceding the modal class, and F2 is the frequency of the class succeeding the modal class. And L is the lower limit of the modal class, that is 35. H equal to 10. Now put all the values of F0, F1 and F2. Now mode is equal to, now put the formula L plus F1 minus F0 by 2F1 minus F0 minus F2 into H. Now put all the values over here. Okay. Now 35 plus 2 by 46 minus 35. So 20 minus 11. So that is coming approximately 1.82. So mode is equal to 36.82. So the final answer will be mode will equal to 36.82. Yes. Now we need to find the mean as well. Okay. So let's draw the table. I hope you remember the mean, how to find the mean value. If you haven't watched the previous videos, then please watch it. Then you will be able to solve the mean value as well. So here we are going to use the step deviation method. Okay. So class interval. First we will copy the class interval and then we will also copy the frequency. Then class mark will be lower limit plus upper limit xi, that is lower limit plus upper limit by 2. And then we need to find the class width, that is by subtracting two consecutive lower limits. So 15 minus 5 is 10. Then by adding h, we will get the, to the xi, we will get the next xi. Okay. So now let's find all the xi's values over here. Then we assume any one value from xi column as a that will be the assumed mean over here. We preferably we consider the middle value. So let's take 40 as a over here. So we consider that assumed mean as a as 40. So now replace that value in the ui. Ui is xi minus a by h. So that is 10 minus xi is 10 over here in the first column. First row it is 10. 10 minus 40 by 10. Then in this way we subsequently calculate all the ui's. Then finally we will multiply fi into ui. And at the end we need to do the summation of fi. Then that means adding all the fi values. And then we'll also do the summation of fi ui. That is adding all the fi ui values. So by step division method, what is the formula? That is the mean is equal to a plus summation of fi ui by summation of fi into h. So that is equal to 40 plus minus 37 by 80 into h. So 40 minus 3 by 30. So that is equal to, actually this is a printing mistake. So it should be 37 by 8. 40 minus 37 by 8, which is coming approximately 4.625. So if we round off, it is coming 40 minus 4.63. That is, mean is 35.37 years. So if we take a look at the mode value, what we got earlier, in the mode. Let's take a look. In the mode, we got 36.82 years, and in the mean, we got 35.37. So, more or less, it is close to it, right? Okay, now let's take a look at the next problem. The following data gives the distribution of total monthly household expenditure of 200 families in a village. Find the modal monthly expenditure of the families. Also find the mean monthly expenditure. So in this case also we need to find the mode as well as mean. So expenditure is given and the number of families, that is the frequency. So first criteria for finding the mode is the classes must be continuous. So if you take a look here, the classes are continuous classes. So let's find the mode value. So expenditure in rupees, the number of families, that is the frequency Fi. Now let's find the class width. So class width H is found by subtracting two consecutive lower limits or two consecutive upper limits. So let's subtract the lower limits. So 1500 minus 1000, that is 500. Now we need to check the maximum frequency. So here maximum frequency is 40. So that is going to be that row will be the modal class. So 1500 to 2000 will be the modal class over here. So now this is the maximum frequency, we know that is the F1, and F0 is the preceding of frequency of the modal class, and F2 is the frequency of the class succeeding the modal class. Now we got F0, F1, F2. Now we need to find the value of L. L we know that is the lower limit of modal class, that is 1500 over here. Already we know H. Now put all these values in the mode formula, that is L plus F1 minus F0 by 2F1 minus F0 minus F2 into H. So now let's calculate it. So it is coming approximately 1847.83 rupees. That is the mode expenditure. Now we need to find the mean. So let's make the table. Class interval, class mark, xi, frequency fi, and ui, that is xi minus a is the assumed mean, divided by h, and then finally fi ui. Here also we are using the step deviation method. So let's find the xi, that is lower limit plus upper limit by 2. Now by subtracting two consecutive lower limits, we will get the value of h, that is the class width. Now just by adding h to xi, we will get the next xi. Okay, so now let's 125 plus 500. So I think there is some mistake here. Okay, so the mistake here is 1000 plus 1500 by 2, that is coming 2500 by 2. That if we divide it, we will get 1250. So that 50, that 0 is written in the next line, so that is wrong. So it should be 1250. Okay, now 1250 plus 500 will be 1750. So after that it is written correctly. So the first row it will be 1250, not 125. Okay, so now if we add up, we'll get all the class mark. Now we assume any one value from xi column as a, that is the assumed mean, and preferably we consider it the middle value. So let's take 2750 as the assumed mean, that is a. Now replace that A with 2750. Now calculate UI. UI is xi minus 2750 by h. So now let's calculate the Fi UI. Just need to multiply UI with Fi. And finally, we need to do the summation of Fi, means adding all the Fi's. And also we need to find the summation of Fi UI, means adding all the Fi UI. Now by step deviation method, we know the formula to find the mean is A plus summation of Fi UI by summation of Fi into h. So now put all these values. So we got the mean as 2662.50 rupees. Let's take a look at the next problem. The following distribution gives the state-wise teacher-student ratio in higher secondary schools of India. Find the mode and mean of this data. Interpret the two measures. Okay, so here also we need to find the mode and mean. So the number of teachers per students per teacher is given, and the number of states are also given. So for finding mode, we know that classes must be continuous. So if you take a look here, the classes are given continuous classes. So first let us find the mode. So let's put the class and class interval and the number of states, that is the frequency Fi. Now first we need to calculate the class width, that is h. So class width h is found by subtracting two consecutive lower limits or two consecutive upper limits. So let's do the consecutive lower limit subtraction. So 20 minus 5 is 5. Now we need to find the maximum frequency. So here the maximum frequency is 10. So that is going to be the modal class over here. So now we know that maximum frequency is the F1 and F0 is the frequency of the class preceding the modal class, or we can say the preceding frequency of the highest frequency, and F2 will be the succeeding frequency of the highest frequency. And L is the lower limit of the modal class. Now put all these values into our mode formula, that is L plus F1 minus F0 by 2F1 minus F0 minus F2 into H. So it is coming approximately 30.625. Okay, so if we round off, it is coming 30.6. So what it represent? It represent the most of the states or union territory have a teacher-student ratio as 30.6, because this is the teacher-student ratio, right? So this is represent the most number of states having the teacher-student ratio. Now let's find the mean. So class mark, class frequency xi, ui. Here also we are using the step deviation. Now let's calculate the class mark xi, that is lower limit plus upper limit by 2. Then we need to calculate the class width h, that is we need to subtract two consecutive lower limits, that is 20 minus 15, that is 5. Now to calculate the xi, just by adding h to xi, we will get the next xi. So in this way we will fill up all the xi values. Now we assume any one value from xi column as a, that is the assumed mean. Preferably we will consider the middle value here. So let's take 32.5 as assumed mean. Now replace that in the UI formula. Now calculate UI, that is xi minus 32.5 by h. Okay, now let's multiply fi with ui. And then finally we need to do the summation of fi and summation of fi ui. So summation of fi is adding all the fi values, and summation of fi ui is adding all the fi ui values. So that by applying the step deviation method, the mean will be a plus summation of fi ui by summation of fi into h. So again I am telling, if you haven't watched the step deviation method in my previous video, please watch it first, then come to watch this mode video. Otherwise you will not be able to understand the step deviation method, because here I am not going to explain the step deviation method again, that you will get in my previous video. So the approximate value is coming, the mean is 29.2. So what it represent? It represent that on an average the teacher student ratio is 29.2. So mode, we already know that mode means always the highest, mode always represent the highest frequency. So in this case mode represents the maximum number of teacher student ratio, and state-wise teacher student ratio, and mean is the mean means always the average. So here we are representing the average of the teacher student ratio. So since they have asked to interpret these two measures, so you have to write this, that which represent mean means it represents the average teacher student ratio, and mode is the maximum teacher student ratio. So that's all for today. So today we have covered the mode, how to find the mode, and also we have solved some problems where we have solved to find the mode as well as the mean, where we use the step deviation method. So if you have not understood the step deviation method in detail, so for that please go through my previous video. Otherwise if you come directly to this video, it will be difficult for you to understand the step deviation. Okay, so if you like my video, please hit the like button. And if you have anything to ask me or any comment regarding any problem you are facing during statistics chapter, you can put it in the comment section. And please share this video to your friends so that they can also learn from this video about the statistics chapter. And to get the upcoming videos notification, you need to do one thing, that is you need to subscribe to my channel. For that you need to just press the bell icon, and then you will be notified for the upcoming videos that I'll be posting. So in the coming videos also you will be covering the statistics chapter. So please subscribe to my channel to get the notification. Okay, that's all for today. Bye bye.